Hey there. So I'm a Unity developer. I've got over 20 years of experience and I've done several courses on Unity as well. And a while ago, I was looking for a Web3 SDK to use for a Web3 course that I was going to teach. I've evaluated over 20 some of them, and I really liked ChainSafe 1.x. So I'm digging back into an old project, trying to upgrade it to the latest. I think it's 2.5. 2.5 plus. And just wanted to show some thoughts here to see if the community has any ideas. So a little background about me. I'm a Unity dev. As I mentioned, I've done about 3 years of Unity and Web3 projects. Some of that's on my portfolio you can check out. As I mentioned, doing lots of online courses, getting my feet wet in Udemy as well, selling stuff there. Not Web3 related, but I would love to do something like that. Now on the 1.x, I can't remember exactly which version of ChainSafe, but an older version. I had a great working demo and I stepped through some different ways that I could wrap the existing API, which in what I saw in ChainSafe 1.x was very similar to what I see in the other 24 SDKs that I've using, usually wrapping the same APIs that we see in other technologies like JavaScript front end. So here's the raw ChainSafe, which is how you're meant to use it, how the documentation would describe it. Nothing new there. Pause the video if you want to see more. What I did was wrap it and put some convenience methods around it. Some of them would be in a SDK given to the developer. Some the developer is invited to subclass for specific needs. I'll talk about that in the next example. Then I refined it even further so that you could do game-specific operations like creating a new request object that inherits from something inside the SDK that I provide and be able to do very fluent calls that are human readable and really nicely organized, being able to return strongly typed objects from a smart contract call. I believe in everything here. I'm using EVM, written in Solidity, calling Mumbai testnet, and being able to return game-specific in-game gold, or being able to set an experience points, which is a game-specific other ERC20 in both cases. So really love this API. And what I want to do in sharing this video is just to show that's kind of my end goal, catch up this project and how it works with upgrading from ChainSafe 1.x to 2.x. So that's the preamble. Now I'll show what I've done inside Unity. So I've followed along the getting started, which is doing this as of recording this video. You'll see some specific version numbers in a second. Following this along and following along here, I'm not using Gurley, I'm using Polygon Mumbai testnet. But other than that, trying to follow along as best I can. I'm skipping this because I'm going to be running the demo scene, but we can come back to that. So here inside Unity, I created a new Unity project. You can see the version up there. You can see the target build up there. Down here in the package manager, I'll just scroll through. You can pause if you want to see those datas there. Here in the ChainSafe SDK's settings panel, I've set all this stuff there. I'll make it larger. I created a recommended node, how the documentation recommends, and been able to plug in the RPC there. And again, choosing Polygon Mumbai. So if we go ahead and run, I'll reduce the clutter of what we have here for the moment. And I have seen proper behavior with the continue existing. So for example, if I run this scene without checking remember me, and I do continue with existing wallet, it will work properly. And then if I stop and start the Unity scene, it does not remember the history. But if I play here and I check the remember me box, then actually, I was quite surprised at that result there. As soon as I click remember me, then it goes and finds it. So unlike what I was about to say, I consider what just happened there a bug. But let's log out and try it again. So here I am. I click remember me. The demo is not super polished. Things like the remember me status of the checkbox should be persistent, seen over scene, but fine. I understand that these are all moving parts here. The updating the samples to always match the updating SDK is a challenge. I've done tons of projects where these things fall out of sync, so no problem there. I've gone through and tried some of these continuants. I'm not so excited about those. I really want to use the wallet for my course. So let's just go ahead and do that. Continue with the existing wallet. I love the SDK solution to opening up a browser. I think it's nice and clean. I know other SDKs are trying to massage it and not even open up the browser, but then there's some more centralization involved. So no criticism on this. I'll go ahead and assign. Then if you're watching this video and you haven't seen this yet, you might find this unusual because not many SDKs do this, but the signature has happened here in the browser. The way to bring it back to Unity is I copy to my clipboard, go back into Unity, and it kind of sniffs that when you tap back into Unity, it sniffs what's on your clipboard and it pulls it in. So that, I think if I recall 1.x's documentation and explanation, it was to get around having any sort of, from a security standpoint and from a centralization standpoint, this was the smoothest path. So no problem with that. Now, here's what I wanted to talk about. If I go to the, not the inspector, console. Let me bring the console over. All right, so we'll just step through some examples here. If I do balance of, it shows 0. Now, in my MetaMask, which is what I use to log in, I have the address matches what we just saw in Unity. So I believe it is indeed connected here. I've chosen Polygon Mumbai testnet here and Polygon Mumbai testnet in Unity. So I'm surprised I don't see currency. So one question is, maybe I messed something up in the configuration. Why don't I see this Matic reflected inside Unity? It shows 0 balance. I believe Matic is an ERC20. It's been a couple months since I've been in the Web3 world, but I think that should be there. If I do name, it freaks out. So I would guess that would show Matic. Then native balance of 0, symbol, error, total supply, 0. So I'm not sure. The zeros may be properly there. Maybe my configuration is off, but 2 of those through errors. So I would consider those bugs. Then here in the ERC 721, I'm going to clear and just go balance of. I don't know what that's connected to. I would assume balance of would be 0 if it's giving me data from my account because I don't have any ERC21s in that test count. Owner of freaks out with a bug, exception specifically. Owner of batch does as well. URI worked great. And all legacy. Okay, so if it's legacy, maybe I don't care. But 2 of those through errors. So what's up with that? Then down here, we'll go ERC 1155, balance of batch, URI, freaks out. I didn't do any configuration specific to this, but okay. Just recapping where the errors happen. Oh, can I not go back from this? I could log out, but I'm just going to stop and start Unity because I'm not sure how I can get back from this demo. Yeah. So then I come here. I was here. The import NFT both didn't work and didn't have a back button. The IPFS, again, I don't care about this, but let's just be complete about doing a demo. Okay, upload button doesn't work. I didn't expect to use that, but I would guess in the demo it should just work, but who knows? And then in the Gelato gasless, so Gelato's gasless functionality gives the ability for dApp users to execute smart contracts, smart transactions without having to directly pay Ethereum gas fees. Instead, the gas fees are either subsidized by dApp developers or other mechanisms, creating seamless blah, blah, blah. Okay, not too familiar with this, but I get the idea of it. Because as a game dev, you want to be able to do transactions on behalf of users in certain cases. Okay, that seemed to work. Let's try sponsor call. There's an error. Let's try this one. while waiting for that, this loading bar in yellow that goes across is cool, but it's not used consistently across all the demos. Just as an FYI. Sometimes you don't see that indication and you are indeed waiting. I don't know if this error was because of that. I don't think it was. I think it was the... Okay, but while it's waiting here, I'll just go back, copy good, and paste in here. I'm not hitting Control V, I'm just tapping Unity, but I think that would paste the code in the previous examples. Okay, so that call with didn't work. So let's go back. We'll catch up to that. Okay, now I'll do the sponsor call. Scroll down. Copy. Okay, there's an error there. I may not be providing enough context by showing the full console log for these errors, but if you believe the error happened for the reason of a bug, then a repo case would need to happen anyway. Okay, so let's do confirm, back. That's contract send. Okay, contract send was successful. Get the array, get array worked. Looks like the array is maybe has one index of 0, something, I don't know. I haven't read the documentation. Get block number works, get gas limit. Great. Get gas price, cool. Get nonce. Okay, nonce is 340, cool. Get transaction, something, something. Okay. Mint A721. I would guess that would cost me some funds, sure. In case you're watching this and you're not too aware, I'm on a test net, so any of these things that are costing me money are costing me money that has no value, let's say. It's testnet currency. So that's cool for development. All SDKs do that. Sending an array. Okay, cool. So that was me running all of the demos, capturing wherever an error happened in my specific case. You can go back and you can look at which versions of Unity and all the packages I'm using, because I showed that earlier in the video. You can look at my settings, because I showed that on screen already. And just open question to anyone who knows. Why do these errors occur? Are they known issues and they're coming soon to be fixed? And then specifically around the ERC20, since that's probably, that and smart contracts are going to be the two use cases that I embrace first, importing my code up to this version. I was curious why the balance of does not show my Matic balance, why name and symbol both throw an error, and that might very much be a config issue on my end. So that's really the ERC20 stuff is what I'm most interested in, but happy to share this video. And whenever the update happens in the coming month or so, I'll be happy to share a video of it properly working and any new learnings that I have while I'm making this course. Thanks very much to the community, and I love the SDK, particularly 1.x, and I'm happy to love the 2.x once I get up to speed on it.